Hey guys, we are back for the sixth time. I don't know how many times we tried to do this video. Um, we started around 8 something. It's 11:33, but I would not have chose another person to do this with because she is cool, calm, collected, helping me out. Some people would be real fed up right now. So thank you. This is my friend from freshman year. She was a sophomore when I met her. Her name is Genevieve, a beautiful young lady, and one of my closest friends till this day. What's up?
Hey y'all.
All right. So on this episode 1 of Confirmation Monday, so pretty much run it down real quick. You're going to come on the show, and pretty much all you're going to do is talk about a time where God confirmed a prayer that you asked for, or He put something in your life right whenever you needed it, and He just knew what your heart wanted, knew what your heart needed, and He did it for you. There it is. That's how it's going to go down. And at this moment, I'm going to let Genevieve tell her story.
I just want to start off by saying that Brennan is not joking and saying that we started this like around 8:30, and I am not like the ideal or perfect Christian in by anyone's ruler, but I really do in my heart feel that like someone's gonna be blessed from this series because like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit tired. However, I really do think that like something good is going to come out of this series for someone. And like we're doing a good job at like pushing through. So if you're watching this, I mean, of course you're watching it, which is why you're hearing me.
Yeah, right.
Be blessed by it. But yeah, like Brennan said, met in undergrad, and it's been a party ever since. He's been a good support system to me whenever I can talk to Brennan. I always come out of the conversation just feeling so full. He came up with this idea. Similarly, we came up with the idea similarly in another video call, just like this one on FaceTime. And it was just through regular conversation and both of us being able to like recognize like God's hand in our life, God's presence in our life. And so um the story that I'm about to share reveals like bits and parts of me that like not too many people like outside of my immediate family, like my really close friends, know about. And so yeah, I'm hoping that you guys are this helps someone out. This kind of helps someone be able to recognize God in their life, kind of guide someone into knowing when to ask for God's hand in their life, seeing that God is real in that way. So yeah,
Awesome.
Brennan, you have me on episode 1 of Confirmation Mondays.
Yo, take 87.
All right, y'all. Well, let's see where to start. From the beginning would be good. I I have not too many people know this about me. And so I'm telling you to a big secret, major part of myself I have always dealt with, not suffered from. Just really bad anxiety ever since I was young. I think it just kind of has a lot to do with my personality type, kind of sometimes taking up more than I have to, overthinking, just regular things like that. But I've always kind of dealt with that. And it wasn't until undergrad where like I finally like put a name to it, like saw a doctor about it, started seeking different resources to kind of help me deal with my anxiety, admit that I had anxiety and all of that. Um, but During last summer, earlier last year, I had started like my grad school application process, which is a very stressful process, a very, um, just a very stressful process for those of you who know the process. Just a whole lot of like uncertainty, like not knowing what's going to come after go. So I had applied to one program and one program only, because for those who know me, I'm not really a plan B or plan B's always work harder on plan A. So I had applied to grad school. I was really nervous about like whether or not I would get into the program. And then even if I got into the program, how I pay for the program. It also required that I move, find a new spot to live, and all of that. So I was very anxious around that time. Being last year, I remember like being at work and getting like full blown like anxiety attacks, like being in the hospital, at work at the hospital, and then like having to like rush into like a bathroom just because like I needed like to wait for the attack to kind of like pass. Um, but God is good. And that summer, I ended up getting accepted into the program. Not only did I get accepted, though, yay! Not only did I get accepted, but um, I also landed a job that would pay for me to be in the program. So that was all really good. But then, humans are human. And even then, I was still feeling really anxious after that about like what the next couple years of my life would look like. I was leaving my best friends in Philly, who I had lived with through all of undergrad, all 4 years plus more. Was leaving them, so I was really leaving my support system, leaving everything that was familiar to me, moving out into the DMV. Had to find my footing, and for the most part, like do it alone. Um, and so the story starts the week, my first week on the job. I was obviously nervous, but there was one particular day in that week where I felt like I woke up that morning and I felt very, very anxious, very, very nervous, um, very, very uncertain. Like I woke up and I just knew that it was going to be a terrible day, which is
Mm.
such a just not good way of thinking, but like I felt that I was going to have like a bad day that day. And so I took a deep breath, got up out of bed, took a shower, did my whole thing, and got myself ready to leave the house. I live with my sister and my friend, and they had already left, gone to work, gone to class, whatever. And so that morning, I went to reach for the door to leave, and right then and there, I felt the anxiety attack brewing up. Like my hands were getting clammy, I was getting sweaty, my heart was racing, was pounding really fast. I couldn't catch my breath. And that whole thing. Um, and I was like, I have to go to work. Like, this
Right.
is my first week on the job, and like this cannot this cannot be a worse time for this to be happening. Um, and so I kind of collected myself and I did the only thing I know how to do, which is to call on God and to pray in those moments, especially like when I'm by myself and it's really hard for me to like kind of like ground myself and bring myself back to reality out of the anxiety attack versus just like letting it kind of like happen to me and like suffering through it. Um, so I just called on him. I said, God, I need comfort like only you can send. Like, I need you to touch me right now. I really have to get my butt to work. So please, like, let this pass, but like, send your comforter. And so I obviously wasn't in a state where I could like leave my apartment right then and there. And so I went back to my room and I texted my boss, and I just let her know, like, hey, having a rough morning right now. I'm going to be late. So yeah, she responded. She was like, oh, like, it's perfectly fine. Like, it's cool. Take your time. But even after she had responded and told me that like it was okay, like I could take my time, I still felt anxious.
Mhm.
I still felt very, very nervous. Like I still felt like everything that I was feeling before. The anxiety attack obviously had like calmed down by that point, but like I still felt very just uneasy. But I had to go to work. And so collected myself all over again. And I went and I opened the door. And this is where the story gets fun, guys. I opened the door. Wait, actually, no, let me backtrack and tell you guys about what um, something or someone that is very significant in my life. In living in Philly, I had a beautiful, beautiful puppy that I called my baby. His name was Rio. I don't know if you guys can see, but
Oh,
this is him right here. Um, and this dog, y'all, that dog was
dog.
my dog. My was my dog. My dog, like my support system, like nothing else. Um, After like a long day of work or class or whatever, I was like he knew when to come and like lick me. He knew when to come and kind of just like embrace me, to love on me. Like he knew when. And when I would have like anxiety attacks at home, it was like he was there for that purpose, which was to bring me comfort. Um, and so for the time where I had him, like my automatic response if I were at home was to turn to him when I needed the support. Sorry for the background noise. I think someone's breaking into someone's car. I'm kidding. No one's breaking into anyone's car. But you'll hear honking. um, and so anyway, um, yeah, I obviously in moving to the DMV, I could not bring my dog with me. Um, and so that in and of itself was a very stressful thing for me to not have like that comfort with me. But anyway, got myself together. I took a deep breath once more before I opened the door. Open the door, y'all, and guess what I find sitting, playing, chilling out behind my door. Brennan has heard the story a billion times already. And
Hey,
so he
I'll hear
knows
it a billion to one. Keep it pushing. Hmm.
puppies, not one, not two, but three puppies, y'all, outside of my apartment door. Um, and it was kind of strange. I won't lie. It was really weird to open my door and see random dogs outside, but I felt just instant relief at that point, like instantly. Like I knew where those dogs had come from. I knew who had sent them. So a few seconds later, I kind of turn my head and I see this man coming towards my apartment door, and he's holding like a mommy dog on a leash, so obviously the puppy's dog. And so he apologizes and says that he's just trying to get the puppies like familiar with the neighborhood because he lived not too far away, and that he just had asked me like how I felt about dogs and all of that. And I was like, yeah, I love dogs. I had a dog myself, blah blah. Had a whole conversation about the dogs, and so at the end of the conversation, he had said to me that if ever like I wanted to like play with the dogs, walk them, and like anything like that, like I was totally welcome to do so. And I think that's the part, like, or that's another part of the interaction that just really confirmed to me that like it was God in that time, and it was God that had sent those puppies. Because for if if you're watching this and you have a pet, like you know how stronger that emotional bond can get with a pet. Like it's like it's your child or something. And so to lose that in and of itself was like a real like blow to the chest for me,
Hmm.
to not be able to bring him as I was moving to the DMV. And so to have asked God for that support, to have asked God for that comfort, and then open my door and find puppies.
Look at that.
Look at God.
Look
Look
at
at
look
God.
at God. Mm.
It was significant for me because that was almost like God's way of like literally reaching down and hugging me. It was using those puppies, using something that was familiar, using something that he knew would like really resonate with me.
Mhm.
And then like for the man to have said like if ever you want to play with the puppies, just hang out with them, like feel free to come on by. That I thought was God. So my roommates and I ended up actually moving from that apartment. We moved to a townhouse a little bit further away from that area. So I never saw those dogs ever again.
Never again.
Never saw them again. But I think that was God's way of saying, like, just like how this time you needed comfort, you called on me and I sent these dogs. No, you might not see these dogs again, but here is my invite to you and saying, when you do need some sort of comfort or support again, call on me again, just like you did this time. Might
Mhm.
not be the dogs, but you will get something.
Mm,
Um, and
mm.
that's significant. And like
Yeah.
if nothing else, like it might not be a dog for you, maybe it's a cat.
It's a mouse, you know?
maybe, maybe it's anything else. Like maybe it's like a friend speaking to you. Maybe it's like a song that just comes on when you have your music on shuffle.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a word. Maybe it's a city name on a bike. Maybe
That's what you did there.
maybe it's like anything else, but I really do think that like God does a good job at when you call on him at like stopping you in your tracks and giving you exactly what it is that you need in that
In
moment.
that moment. Yep.
Like I said, I never saw those dogs again. But
Yep.
there has been and there will continue to be times where like I feel like that again and I call on God again and he sends comfort in whatever way he thinks will get my attention. And so, yeah, that's just my little bit about my experience with God and my calling on Him and Him receiving me. Um, Brennan and I just hope that you all will look for God in these instances in your life and that like you'll recognize Him and like you'll be able to identify and be like, ooh, I remember I called on God and He did this for me, or He appeared to me in this way, or He gave me a hug or sent me comfort in this way.
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, yo,
Mm.
that's my bit. Hopefully somebody pulls something from that and that was enough to do something for somebody who watches this video.
For sure. Listen, I think that's great. And you said something that made me think of, discernment and being able to have clarity and discernment to say, okay, this is from God. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to remember. I remember
Mhm.
2 days ago whenever I asked this, or I remember last year whenever I was feeling this type of way, and this is his answer to that problem or whatever it is. So I think having um, clarity and discernment is a big thing, and we should ask on a daily basis for that, so we can recognize, so we can recognize what is him and what's not him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Like just to add to that too, like God is not messy. Like he's
Mhm.
very intentional. Like he's very planned out. Like and nothing happens by accident. And like Brendan and I think we both recognize that like in your story of how God like revealed himself with the bike. No, he's very intentional. Like everything is placed so carefully. Everything is like placed right there in your face for you to see it.
Mhm.
Um and then it's like when you see it, when you hear and you see it very very loudly, like it's very very apparent that like it's from him.
Right, like it hit you in the
Then
chest or something.
right, it hits you in your chest,
Like,
exactly
oh
that.
my
It's
gosh,
like ooh, ooh.
what
Like
in
all
the
right,
world?
it's not a coincidence.
Hmm.
um that's like it's nothing that God does is just a coincidence. Like it's all very very intentional, very very intentional.
For sure.
And even to follow up on that, just really, I think it's important to then go back and say, God, like I heard you, or like I saw that. And so thank you for
Thank you.
that.
Hmm.
I think that that's important too, because not even for him, it's not even, I don't even think, for me at least, I don't even think it's that like he needs the praise, but like you need to give it to him. And I think that it also helps you to be able to, I don't want to go too far off, but like it also is good for like you yourself to be able to say, like saying thank you, like admitting that, like you, like saying that thank you also kind of like solidifies it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say?
No, I feel that.
It's like, I prayed for this a year ago and I got it, right? 365 days later. But
Hmm.
being able to make like you, if you say thank you to God, it means that you made that connection between like prayer and answer, you
Hmm.
know? And so yeah, all
And
of that.
that gives you the drive to do it again, because you said, if he did it before, he can do it again. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, but we ain't gonna get into all that. Um, wow, this was good, G.
We did it.
We did it. I appreciate everyone for clicking and listening. And next Monday, we're gonna have another episode 2. Um, just I don't know what time. There's no on Monday it's going to drop, and I don't know who it is. But like I said in the first video, am I going to be a firefighter? It said that you can hit my Instagram, or you can comment below and give me your information, and we can talk during the week and figure out a time during the week that we can have the video. All right. So if you do want to do the video, download the app Zoom, because that's what we're going to use. And other than that, we're going to get off of here. So I just want to say thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Genevieve, for coming on and helping out. And we'll catch y'all next week. All right.
Yeah.